It is, what time is it? 9:59. So I am here waiting for someone to let me know. I know a few of you use the live chat to let me know that you're here. It's the Friday freebie with Gail. So I will wait a minute or so before I get started. Okay, somebody's here. Good morning, how are you? I can't see who it is until afterwards because I can't see the small print on my phone, but I always check afterwards after the class to see who's here. Welcome. Hope you're staying warm in this kind of frigid weather. We're finally getting what can be considered really winter weather. Personally, I'd like a little snow, but that's just me. Okay, so hopefully there's a few other people with us. Let me know if you can use the live chat. Otherwise, I'll figure out who is here later. So last week I told you that I'm obsessed with the breath. I'm still obsessed with the breath, and I will be for the rest of my life. But I wanted to just ask you to think for a moment. How many times did you think about your breath since last week, since last Friday? Did you at all? You know, we breathe unconsciously, and that's good, of course, because we wouldn't want to have to think to breathe or we might die. But, you know, I've been doing yoga, some of you know, for more than 40 years, since 1976. One of the first things that I learned about breathing is a technique I'm going to teach at the end of the class, last few minutes of the class. But, you know, I have been conscious of my breath for a very long time. Now, here's what's really interesting and why I love yoga so much. I'll be 73 in a couple of weeks, 2 weeks from today. No, yeah, I think 2 weeks from today. And I've been doing yoga for over 40 years. The beautiful thing about yoga is that I never stop learning something else about yoga. And when I say yoga, I'm including the breath in that. So anyway, I have been practicing. In yoga, it's called pranayama. If you do a breath practice, it's called pranayama. But I read a book recently called Breath, The New Science of a Lost Art. That's the name of it. Breath, The New Science of a Lost Art by a guy named James Nestor. It's a fabulous book. So one of the things I've been doing since I read his book is I've gone back to what could be called pranayama, or I just call it sort of breath practice. But I do it every morning for at least 10 minutes in the morning, 10 to 15 minutes. I just do a breath practice, practicing a lot of different techniques. So you know, everything we do in yoga, we want to put that into practice somewhere in our lives. And one of the things he talks about in the book is that when most people are exercising, whether it's running or walking or cycling or whatever, most people are breathing very shallowly, and a lot of times they're mouth breathing. So what he suggests is that you practice taking like those deep breaths that we were taking last week, that you do that when you're actually exercising, that you're really consciously breathing deeply. And what he said in the book was that you would find that you would have a lot more energy in whatever exercise you're practicing. So this wasn't really exercise, but when I take my dog for a walk in the morning, one of the walks we go on, there's a set of stairs. It's 50 stairs up from the ground up to another street level. And so I do those stairs, and I do them pretty well. You know, for somebody 73, I'm pretty fit, and you know, I can usually go up them without a problem. But I am always out of breath at the end of that 50 stairs. So this morning, I did the 50 stairs, and I just practiced taking nice deep breaths as I walked up the stairs at the same pace I always do, but really conscious of breathing. And guess what? I wasn't out of breath, not even a little bit when I got to the top. It was miraculous. So these things that we do in a class, we can really try hard to put them into practice in our regular lives. Okay, so let's get started. Go ahead and lie down on your mat. Max, come up here. Max, come up here. So go ahead and lie down comfortably. And that can be whatever you feel like. If you want to bend your knees, that's fine. If you want to take your arms further out to the sides, that's fine. Whatever feels good. I just want you to right now just really kind of focus on the feeling of your breath. So we're not doing any particular breath exercise, but just the feeling of your breath in your body. And I also want you to notice any other sensations that you're feeling in your body. So if you feel a little stiffness somewhere, your neck, your shoulders, your back, if you feel any actual pain anywhere, your hips, your knees, just kind of tune into that as you're tuning into the feel of your breath in your body. Now go ahead and take your legs, I'm going to have to move off my mat a little bit for space. Take your legs wide and take your arms up and wide. Now focus your attention on your navel and visualize your breath coming from your navel and literally radiating out through your body as you inhale. So inhale. Now we're going to those deep inhales like we did last week. And visualize that inhalation moving all the way out through your arms and through your fingertips and down through your legs and out through your toes. And then as you exhale, just feel everything moving back to the center. So this is a little bit different from what we were thinking in terms of last week, but we can manipulate the breath all kinds of ways. So just continue with that. Inhale, think about your navel, the breath starting at your navel, and the breath, the energy of the breath, just inhaling and moving that inhalation all the way out through your arms, your fingertips, your legs, your toes, and even out through the crown of your head. And then as you exhale, feel all that energy moving back to center again. So this is a visualization, but it's also really happening. And then after you finish your next exhalation, go ahead and bring your arms, take your arms overhead but straight up. So bring your legs and arms back together. Now I want you to kind of scooch your torso and I think we might have done this in one of the first or second class, but scooch your torso all the way around to the left with your arms. Now keep your torso on the ground, so don't lift up your shoulders or anything. And then move your legs all the way to the left, so your body's in the shape of a banana. Now, just like we were doing before, I want you to feel your inhalation radiating into any place you feel discomfort in this pose. So this is a stretch on the hips and the side. You might feel a little tight. So inhale, feel that inhalation really just kind of stretching out your sides, and then as you exhale, feel that inhalation moving back in. So again, you're sending the energy of your breath into whatever area you feel any discomfort in. Almost like you're massaging that area, whatever is uncomfortable. It could even be your shoulders in this pose. So wherever you need to, send that inhalation. And as you exhale, just feel everything gently moving back in towards center again. Finish your next exhalation. Coming back to center, let's go to the other side. So stretch your torso and arms around to the right, and then take your legs around to the right, and your body is now feeling the stretch on the left side. Same thing. Inhaling from that center place, right out into any place you feel discomfort. Let the breath massage that discomfort. Finish your next exhalation completely and come on back to center. Push yourself up, take your right arm and slide your right arm under your back. Now, this is a big shoulder stretch, so only take your hand and arm under your back as much as is comfortable. When you lie back down on it, I want you to be able to make sure you can feel the shoulder blade on the floor. So don't push your arm so far under that your shoulder is, stretched up like this. So whatever place you can feel the stretch, but you're not like hurting yourself and your shoulder blade is on the floor. If you've got tight shoulders, you might only be able to get your hand underneath your back, to the middle of your back. That's fine. So same thing, we're going to take that inhalation, just imagine from the navel radiating into whatever discomfort or tightness you feel in that right shoulder. As you exhale back down to center, just imagine that feeling some relaxation. You might actually feel it. You finish your next exhalation, use your opposite forearm, push yourself back up, slide the right arm out, do the same thing with the left arm. Now, forewarning, there's probably going to be some difference from one side to the other. For most of us there is. So if this arm is a little more flexible, great. The shoulder rather is a little more flexible, great. You can push your arm under a little more. But if it isn't, if it feels tighter and you need to actually not push it so far under your back, like you might only, like I said, come to halfway or even less. Make sure you can feel your left shoulder blade on the floor, and then the same thing. Inhale from center, so feel that inhalation radiating from your navel and up and all the way into that shoulder, that left shoulder. On the exhale, feel a little bit of release in that shoulder. And when you finish your next exhalation, press up on your right forearm to release your left arm, and then turning over, come up, kind of stand on your knees. So you're not going to come all the way back down like this. You're more or less standing on your knees. And then I want you to walk your knees back, sort of behind your hips, and stretch your arms out, bringing your head, your forehead down to the floor. So you should feel this stretch now in the back of your shoulders. Again, if you've got tight shoulders, this might be really intense. You can always walk your knees a little bit closer, so you can walk your knees a little forward if you want. But the more further back you walk your knees, the bigger the stretch is. So now, same thing, focusing on feeling the breath right center, coming in from the navel, radiating up into the back of the shoulders. Exhale, feel the softening. Finish your next exhalation. Now, similar position, but bring the big toes together and let your hips spread out as far as they can. So you're coming down, and then you're just going to stretch your arms out in front. So this stretch is mostly you're going to feel this in the inner groins. Same thing, so breathe into those inner groins. Inhale, feel that breath radiating from the navel. Stretching out into those inner groins. And as you exhale, feel a little release. And after your next exhalation, go ahead and come on up to standing. Whew, gosh, it's already 10:16. Wow. So I hope everybody's okay with me pretty much every week going about 5 minutes over, simply because I usually spend about 5 minutes talking. So it's a 35-minute class, maybe not a 30-minute class. Okay, so stand with your feet just a comfortable distance apart. And I want you to just let your body kind of collapse. So, let your shoulders kind of drop, your low back. I'm going to turn to the side so you might be able to see me a little bit better. So just not deliberately, but just without any kind of, holding up of yourself, let yourself kind of collapse. So the back of your neck might stretch down. And I want you to just take a breath, just a couple of breaths. Okay, good. Now, go ahead now, and I want you to almost become rigid in standing up. Just so almost kind of squeeze your shoulder blades back, kind of engage the muscles of your arms and legs. So feel yourself as if you were in some sort of a military stance, like you might envision how people in the army stand or something. And now take a couple of breaths. So this is kind of this rigid kind of feeling. Good. I'm just going to ask you, I won't know because I can't hear what you say, but did you feel how you couldn't really, in both of those two positions, take really full breaths, whether you were kind of collapsed or really rigid? It was impossible to take those really deep breaths. So now, just stand, but allow yourself to feel firm, so feet are firmly grounded. Feel your torso kind of lifted away from your hips, but your shoulders are relaxed. Your head, neck, and jaw and everything's relaxed, but you still feel kind of solid, like you're yielding into the solidity of your body. And now take a couple of breaths. And hopefully you could feel how you could take those nice deep breaths in that sort of yielding. So not collapsing your body, but also not sort of making your body frigid, and then just really yielding into that it's a dance between your physical body and your breath. Okay, so from here, we're going to do a little short vinyasa. It's kind of I guess, a modified moon salute. I want you to take nice deep breaths. Again, I might shorten my breaths a little bit just so that everybody's not waiting for me to finish. But I still want you to take deep breaths. So if you're not quite finished with the stage of the pose we're in, inhale as you take your arms overhead. Exhale, stretch your arms and hands to the right. Nice deep exhalation. On your inhalation, come all the way back up. Finish that inhalation before you exhale to the left. Inhale to come up. Finish that inhalation, but as you exhale, step your feet wide apart. Take your arms out to the side. Exhale, bend your arms at the elbows and come into goddess pose. Next inhalation, you're going to turn your feet to the right. Finish the inhalation, and on your exhalation, you're going to come into warrior 2. Next inhalation, bringing the arm overhead, reverse warrior. Next exhalation, let's turn and come down into a lunge. And on your inhalation, you're going to take your right arm up, and exhale, bring it back down. Left arm up, sorry. Exhale, bring it back down. Inhale, straighten your front leg and just drop down, bringing your chin towards your knee. Exhale, turn your feet and come into a wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, take your right arm up. Exhale, down. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, down. Inhale, come up, arms out. Exhale, goddess pose again. Next inhalation, bring your feet back together, arms overhead. Exhale, right. Inhale, up. Exhale, left. Inhale, up. Exhale, back to prayer position. Let's do the other side. So the hands are in prayer position. Inhale. Exhale, left. Inhale. Exhale, right. Inhale, stick the feet apart, arms out. Exhale, goddess. On your next inhalation, let's turn to the left. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, we're going to come down into that lunge. Inhale, take the left arm up, and exhale down. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, down. Inhale, straighten the front leg, press the back heel to the floor. Exhale, turn the feet, and come down into a wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, take the left arm up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, come back up to standing. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, bring the feet back together, arms overhead. Exhale, left. Inhale. Exhale, right. Inhale. And exhale, prayer position. Okay. So that's a nice little sequence to feel the breath. Oh, gosh, good. We're only at 10:23. Okay, come on down onto your belly. And place your fingertips. I'm going to turn the other way for this. Place your fingertips, place your index finger on the edge of the mat. We did this, I think we might have done this the first class. But again, we're really trying to see how this works with the breath and our movement. So the index fingers are at the corner of the mat. The third, fourth, and fifth fingers are probably on the floor of the carpet. And your thumbs are facing forward on the mat. Take your legs wide so that your feet and legs are at the outer edges of the mat. Your forearms are on the floor. So we're going to come up into a back bend. So inhale, lift your forearms. Now if coming up this high is too much for you, don't bring your arms back down like this. I want your belly off the floor. So what I want you to do is take your arms forward, even if they come off your mat, to come lower. If your back is a little more flexible and you want to come up higher, just walk your hands back, but keep that same position. And now, whatever you're feeling in your back, whatever tightness you might be feeling, focus that inhalation on the belly and feel it radiating right into the tightness you might feel in your back. So that same thing, use that visualization of radiating the breath into any tightness you might be feeling. Good. Finish your next exhalation as you come down. And get your, where's my blanket? Oh, it's way over here. So sit on your blanket or your cushion or whatever, and we're going to close out today with a breathing exercise. Some of you might have done it with a teacher, but see if you can remind yourself to do this technique once or twice during the week. Whenever you're, especially if you find yourself being a little anxious or frazzled, try doing alternate nostril breathing. So come into whatever position, and you can even sit in a chair if you want to for this last couple of minutes. So alternate nostril breathing is so funny. It's an ancient practice. It was developed, in the tradition of Ayurveda, and there's a lot of philosophy and a lot of information written about alternate nostril breathing, but only recently have scientists actually been able to see that this particular technique does exactly to the brain and for the brain what the ancient yogis said it did before there were any MRIs and brain visualizations or any of that stuff. So it's a very relaxing breath. This is what I said earlier. I taught myself this breath. It was the first breathing technique I taught myself back in 1976 from a book. Okay, so take your thumb and then sort of put your second and third finger right in the pad of the thumb, so you're tucking that under, and then you're going to be using your thumb and your fourth finger. Your little finger's not doing anything. So if you're right-handed, use your right hand. If you're left-handed, use your left hand. So you're going to press your thumb. I'm going to do this with you, and then you're going to do 3 cycles on your own, okay? So press your thumb against your right nostril and inhale into your left nostril. Then close the left nostril with your fourth finger. Hold, open your thumb, and exhale out of your right nostril. Inhale into your right nostril. Close it with your thumb. Hold, open your left nostril, and exhale. Now that's one cycle. I'm going to do one more with you. I'm not going to I don't have a lot of commentary in between. I'm just going to say what we're doing, and then you're going to do 3 on your own. So closing the right nostril with your thumb, inhale. Close the left nostril, hold. Open the right, exhale. Inhale. Close the right, hold. Open the left, exhale. Now do 3 more on your own. When you're done, just sit for a moment. Just notice again how you feel in your body. Also notice how you feel in your mind. I'm assuming everybody is finished. So I actually made it at 10:31, so that's pretty good. All right, so let's end our practice, but actually before we end our practice, see if you can try alternate nostril breathing during the week, or just being very conscious of your breath for a few minutes. So this is not, I mean, it's very related to and very similar to meditation, but it's really about becoming more conscious of your breath. But when you do that, I can guarantee it's going to relieve some of whatever anxiety or tension you might be feeling at the moment. So see how that feels. If you're out for a walk, try what I was saying about walking and taking really nice deep breaths and exhale, and just see how that feels. I was quite amazed by the 50 stairs I said I walked up today and how I felt at the end of that. It was very, very, very different from how I normally feel. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me again today. Like I said last week, I love teaching this Friday class, so I hope you continue to come back. Let's end our practice by bringing the palms of our hands together in front of our hearts. Take a deep breath. And let's Om together one time. Namaste. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week.